Hello, Instagram world and soon to be YouTube world once I post this on YouTube. This is my first time going live on this page, and it's been a while since I've shared much on YouTube. I've been in my own little deep chrysalis experience over the last few months. There's been such chaotic energies happening right now, and it's easy to get sucked down into this really dark abyss of emotions, which are okay to feel, which I'm going to talk more about in a minute. But we can often get stuck in that abyss of darkness, and sometimes it's hard to get out. And I've been struggling here and there of bringing myself back out of that space, and so many of us struggle to come back out. But what I wanted to address today is this idea of ascension and positivity and good thoughts, and how this often can really diminish and often bypass very important emotions and feelings and traumas that are coming up really abundantly right now for us to face. So we're experiencing such a big evolutionary shift with ourselves in our physical being. It's not just like a mental consciousness shift. It's very physical. And with this physical evolution, we're shifting our energetic bodies. And with that pulls this stagnant energy out of our energetic centers. It's pulling stagnant energies, in which are traumas stored in our bodies. So emotional traumas get stored in our physical body. And this is where physical disease manifests from, is this stagnant energy within the physical being through wounds and traumas that we experience personally or generationally, gets carried down within energetic bodies. So we're moving these energies as we are evolving as a collective. I don't even want to just say as a collective. This is a very individual experience I want to speak to today. We are individually bringing up stagnant energy that has been stored in our physical being. This is happening because when we speak of ascension, we often think of rising into higher consciousness. But in reality, that kind of idea is almost it's the opposite of what it actually is. Because the more we think of rising up out of our body, we're disconnecting ourselves from the physical experience. That's almost an escapism, this rising into the higher realms, before we've actually grounded and experienced the full physical experience. Eventually, we'll evolve higher into the upper realms and upper consciousnesses, but we can't bypass this very physical, energetic clearing, purging that we're collectively experiencing. So in all reality, the ascension symptoms we want to speak to, it's actually a descension. It's a coming back into the body, a really strong groundedness in the physical body, because we're feeling so much more. And we need to allow ourselves to feel everything that comes up. So as it's moving through the body, we need to move through the emotions. And if we are suppressing that, ignoring those emotions, seeing them as low level or low consciousness or negative emotions, we're suppressing that feeling through experience. We're actually delaying our own evolution by bypassing emotional awareness. Usually, this happens out of a fear or an ego-driven ideology that those feelings are negative or bad or wrong. And there's a fear there as well of actually stepping into feeling those emotions. Why? Because like I just started, sometimes by standing with those feelings that come up for us, it's easy sometimes to get so pulled down into the depths of those emotions that we get stuck. And it's hard to come back out because we allow the emotions to consume us. We attach to them and make them become a part of us. And we identify all of those emotions as us. Whether it be taking everything on and then having this self-hatred toward feeling sadness or pain or grief or shame or fear or whatever it may be. And then we think we're terrible people. And then you sit in this self-hatred and sabotage everything around you by sitting in that space of your own shadows. And all of that internal talk keeps you there because you're now attached to identifying all of those emotions as who you are. Suppressing our emotions is a self-trauma. So the emotions that are coming up are often due to traumas and wounds initially, but our continued suppression of those feelings and not facing them, not willing and able to face them, is another trauma on top of those traumas. So you continue to traumatize yourself every time you deny your emotional aspects. So each day you wake up and you're feeling a certain way, if you identify that as bad, something you shouldn't be, and you're trying to force yourself to feel something, waking up feeling sadness over something that happened the other day, and you force yourself to try to feel happy, or someone comes in with good intentions to try to make you feel better, and then you just ignore the energy and situation around those emotions that you were feeling. So you continue to deny how you were feeling and why. And we don't want to take on the feelings as ourselves and just consume all of it and just be in despair and in self-pity and self-doubt and woe is me type feelings. That's not what it means to feel the emotions. It's being able to detach to a point, not detach and dismiss, detach from it becoming a part of you and be able to be aware of why those feelings are there, where they're coming from, why it's coming up for you, where it's coming up for you. In the areas of your physical being, we can identify the feelings. We often have physical sensations to tell us where certain emotions are coming from. And that helps us in identifying more as to where the energetic center is, that energy is coming from. And we don't necessarily have to identify all of that source of the energy to be able to feel it. Simply bring your awareness to that feeling, but detach so you're observing it. You're aware, you're observing, you're feeling it. Allow yourself to feel it fully. It's okay to fall apart and crumble and be angry or sad or feel that grief. Because as you feel it, that allows you to move through it. You can't move. Think of it as like a bridge. So here's your feelings, which is this bridge of emotion. You can't cross that bridge without feeling that emotion. So feel it in order to move through and past it. And more will continue to come towards you. More will continue to rise. But every time you're able to fully face all of these feelings, all of this emotional chaos that comes to you, all of this uncertainty that we have in the world. I've struggled with uncertainty so much since my move. If you don't know, I moved about an hour and a half away from where I was from after getting divorced last year, shared custody of my children, so we're 50-50 in homeschooling, and the traveling has been difficult, but I'm starting in a space that I don't know anybody. I don't know this area, and I'm going to start a yoga studio with a friend, conveniently enough. Yoga and birth is going to be my specialty. Trauma healing of birth and other areas. And yin. Anyways, there's so much uncertainty that has been pulling me down the last couple weeks. Just not having the studio open yet, and I don't have that income. So I've been so worried of having money to pay our rent and the studio rent and to buy food for my kids and to get things for Halloween. And there's so much that can just tear you down and keep you down if you can't. And there's a facing of that reality. Like that is my experience at this present moment. But how I react and my thoughts around that reality is going to really differentiate the results moving forward. Meaning I can let it consume me and sit in the despair and sadness and doubt. And that will lead me into that result. Or I can trust in the knowing that I was brought here for a reason, that this is aligned. I feel it's aligned. I had tried a studio in the past and it just didn't work. And this is my second chance to try it. And I was drawn to it for a reason. So in trusting that this is a direction I am led to at this time, that will bring about a different result from this experience. So being in the presence of what you're feeling and what you're experiencing and what you are in, being within it, in the presence of it, and the awareness of your thoughts around it. That is the true descension process, being able to fully feel everything in your situation and knowing the only thing that you control truly is how you are thinking and reacting to what you're feeling. That is really the essence of this human experience, is being able to fully feel. And the awareness around feeling, so that you realize that it isn't you. Those feelings and emotions aren't your identity. You're just experiencing them at this time. I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you, friends.